Samuel Mensah, please, I saw you were online. If you are muted, can you unmute and then give us the opening prayer, please?
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Thank you. Please, shall we pray? Our Heavenly Father, hallowed be thy name. We would like to invite you to this leadership training section. We commit every activity into your hands, and we pray that your wisdom accompany us throughout this section. We pray for each leader in every position, role, and role of duty. Our duty and role as leaders of NUGS-China 2020 and 2021 will be the kind of leadership we want to see. This is the reason why we have come together to learn on our roles and duty and what is expected from each of us. Father, grant us your grace and wisdom to achieve the result of this training section, and grant us the wisdom we need to apply on our roles and contribute immensely for a better result. We do understand that with you all things are possible. Thanks for answering our prayers in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Without further ado, we'd like to invite our national president in the person of Honorable Colin Say to give us the welcome address and to tell us the purpose of our gathering. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning and good evening to everyone, irrespective of your location. On behalf of my entire executives, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to everyone for the support that you had in us to give us this mantle to serve the union for the 2020-2021 academic year. We deem it a great pleasure to lead this union for the 2020-2021 academic year. And it's also a great pleasure to be invited to be part of this leadership training. This is our first leadership training for the 2020-2021 academic year. Most of us are aware of the numerous challenges that our union has faced over the past years. However, we are very much grateful to the good work of our predecessors in solving some of these challenges. Nonetheless, we continue to strive harder for the best. Quite a number of items were delineated in our various manifestos, both at the chapter level and at the national level during our electoral processes. And as such, we need to equip ourselves with the necessary skills to achieve them. NUGS-China is well versed with great leaders with great potentials. We believe that good leaders can be created through effective leadership training, and therefore we seek to invest more into improving these leaders. Quality leadership is a combination of the right qualities and the right training. We are gathered here because our members have identified us to be those who have what it takes to lead them. And now we ought to be furnished with the right leadership training. Nurturing leaders supports succession planning and offers career pathways to organizations and further increasing retentions. The purpose of this leadership gathering is to equip us with the general leadership skills that enhance our works in our portfolios, and also to prepare us for future leadership positions. Without wasting much time, I would like to hand over for the leadership training to begin. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, President Wanuham. I'm excited for today already. Indeed, I'm really, really excited. We have Honorable Felix Jawado in the house. Honorable Felix, I'm going through the list to see if I can spot your name. Okay. We'll have a brief musical interlude as he connect because he's facing one or two challenges, but he'll be here in a minute. Don't give up on us just yet. Let's have a brief musical interlude even as we prepare for him. Thank you. Okay, whilst they get the music ready, okay, awesome. The music is ready. Awesome. Thank you so much for this music. I see it's called what, Ghana Patriotic Songs. Wow. We will discuss this later in the day. At this point, we'd like to invite Honorable Felix Jewado to introduce to us the dignitaries present and even the past NEC as well.
Okay, thank you, Gloria. Good morning, everyone. I hope that we are all doing well. I wish all of us a great day, as well as, let's enjoy this session. So I'll start by introducing the past NEC executive and former NEC executives. So
Honorable Felix, is it just me or I can't hear him? Honorable Felix, can you leave and then join again because we can barely hear you. Okay, while that is being done, I see somebody called Selom in the chat. Selom?
Yeah.
Hi, Selom.
Hi.
You kind of bear my name. My name is also Selom. How are you doing today?
I'm good, and you?
Doing awesome. Can you tell me a little bit while we wait on Honorable Felix to get his internet in line? Can you tell me a little bit of what you expect out of today?
Well, I expect that I am equipped with new skills new leadership skills to add to what I already know. I expect that after this session, my skills will be sharpened. I'll get new new insight in leadership, especially at this level. I've been through several leadership trainings, but this is the first one I'm experiencing in China. So I expect to learn new things as a student leader.
Awesome. Wow. This is a lot. This is a lot. And I know I'm really, really well assured that by the end of today, indeed you would have gathered that knowledge. Who else can I call on? Let's see, a lady this time. A lady. Gift your same Miracle. Oh, hold on a minute. Hello? All right, so Honorable Felix is still having some issues, and I have him on phone now, so I'm just going to put it on loudspeaker so that you guys can hear him. Hope that's okay. Okay, Honorable Felix, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Victoria, and I apologize. I think I'm having some issues with my network, so I have to use my phone to call in and do the introduction. So first of all, I'd like to introduce Mr. Benjamin Ohine Kwapumbafo, who is a former national president of NUGS-China 2017-2018 academic year. We also have Robert Namapia, who is the past immediate past former vice president. Mr. Bernard Boamabequin, who was the Secretary General, Akpabla Women's Commissioner 2019-2021, and then Mr. Joshua Ahiasi Mensah, who was the Financial Controller, National Financial Controller 2019-2020. Now to the next guest who is going to take us to today's session. Since starting at Northeastern State University in 1994, he has taught a variety of management courses. Dr. Jim Phillips has guided strategic planning conferences for organizations and communities and conducted research in self-leadership, soft skills development, and cross-cultural management. Jim organized the 4-member team at NSU, that's Northeastern State University, to focus on self-leadership, presenting at 8 peer-reviewed conferences and achieving 4 journal publications in addition to his publication in other areas. He also enjoyed organizing and teaching essential business skills, which was initiated by a team consisting of himself and 3 other NSU professors in January 2016. The course attempted to teach the soft skills that students need to be successful in the workplace. In November 2016, his team presented the results of their work with his with this seminar at peer-reviewed academic conferences. Dr. Jim Phillips has enjoyed opportunities as a visiting professor to universities in India, China, and now looking forward to BYU in Hawaii. That's this year. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Jim Phillips, who's our special guest today, and he'll be taking us through the leadership program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming through, even with all the technical difficulties. We really appreciate your devotion and your dedication. At this juncture, we'd like to invite Honorable Francisca Abo to let us know who is present. SG.
Hello, Honorable Gloria. Thank you very much. Good morning, House, and you're all welcome to today's leadership training program. So please, this is how we are going to take the roll call. When we mention your chapter's name, then you kindly raise your hand here. So please, we will start from Anhui chapter. Please kindly raise your hand. Anhui chapter.
Anhui chapter, I'm here.
Please kindly raise your hand.
Okay. Yes, please, I'm coming.
Please, Beijing, get ready.
Facing a little difficulty, but I'm around, so you can go around.
Okay,
I'll raise my hand.
please, Anhui, we have only two. The General Secretary and the VIP. Please, can you lower your hand?
Okay.
Aurelia, please lower your hand. Okay, so Beijing. Chang Chon, please get ready. Beijing, we have only two, the FC and the organize. Okay. Okay, so we have four from Beijing. Please kindly lower your hand. Chan Train, please get ready. Then Chan Train to please get ready. So Chan Train chapter. Okay, only one person. The next chapter, Chang Train, CHANGCHUN. Changjo, please get ready. Okay, thank you. Please lower your hand. Please lower your hand. Honorable Francis. Okay, so the next chapter, Chanjo, Harbin chapter, please get ready. Changjo, only the FC is present. Okay. Thank you, please lower your hand. Honorable Adan, please lower your hand. Honorable Adan, please lower your hand. Okay, let's move to Harbin. Hangzhou, please get ready. Harbin chapter. Harbin chapter. Okay, let's. Please, Anhui Vip, kindly lower your hand. Hangzhou chapter. Please, Hujo, get ready. Hangzhou chapter. Please, kindly change your username from Motion. You are from which chapter? Frank, please, you are from which chapter?
Hangzhou.
Please kindly change your username.
All right.
Please lower your hand. Hujo chapter. Jingjo, please get ready. Okay, Hujo, thank you. Please lower your hand. Jingjo, please get ready. Chris, please lower your hand from Hujo. Jujian, please get ready. Okay, thank you. Jingjo, please lower your hand. Jujian chapter, please get ready. Honorable Chris, please lower your hand from Hujo chapter. Okay, Jujian chapter, please raise your hand. Jinhua chapter, please get ready. Jujian chapter. Jujian chapter. Okay, there's no one from Jujian chapter present. Jinhua chapter. Chin Chihao, please get ready. Jinhua, we have only two. Thank you very much. Please lower your hand. Chin Chihao chapter, please raise your hand. Nanjing, please get ready. So Chin Chihao, we have only one person, that's the president. Thank you very much. Please lower your hand. Nanjing chapter. And Tao Yuan, please get ready. Nanjing. Okay, we have 5 from Nanjing. Thank you very much. Please lower your hand. Tai Yuan. Tianjin, please get ready. Clement, please lower your hand. Hammond, please lower your hand from Nanjing. Thank you, Taiyuan. Tianjin. Taiyuan, please, you can lower your hand. Shanghai, please get ready. Tianjin, we have only 3. Thank you, Tianjin. Please lower your hand. Shanghai chapter. And Xinyan, please get ready. Please, SH Wukong, kindly change your username.
So much now.
SH Wukong, please kindly change your username. Thank you, Shanghai. You can lower your hand. Shiyan, SHIYAN, please raise your hand. And Shian, please get ready. Shian, we have only 2. Thank you very much. Please lower your hand. Shian, Shujo, please get ready. Shian chapter, please raise your hand. Xi'an chapter. Okay, there's no one from Xi'an. Shujo, please raise your hand. Chairman, please get ready. Shujo, we have only one person. Thank you very much, Shujo. Chairman, please raise your hand. Ichan, please get ready. Chairman chapter. Okay, there's no one from Chairman. Ichan, please kindly raise your hand. And Wuhan, get ready. Ichan chapter. Okay, there's no one from Ichan. Wuhan. Wushi, please get ready. Thank you, Wuhan. Please lower your hand. Wuxi chapter. And Weifan, please get ready. Wuxi chapter. There's no one from Wuxi. Weifan. Jinjian, please get ready. Weifan chapter, please kindly raise your hand. Okay, there's no one from Weifan. And the last chapter, Jinjian. Abigail Enning, please kindly change your username. Jinjian chapter. Sergio Vip Hujo, please lower your hand. Sergio VP Hujo. Thank you very much. Abigail, please kindly change your username. Thank you very much. Honorable MC, please, I'm done.
Thank you so much, SG. At this point, I think many of us have been waiting for this session, the General Leadership Seminar, and this will be done by our guest speaker. Honorable Felix told us a little bit about him. Yeah, I think we're already at 9:31, so we would hand over to our guest speaker, Dr. Jim Phillips. Thank you.
Good morning to all of you. It's wonderful to be here with you. I am totally blessed to be in your presence, and thank you for the invitation. Thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity I have to maybe enlighten you or maybe help you on your path as a leader of your organization in your city. I am very happy to say that I was in China during the year of 2016, 2017. And also last summer, we were in Xi'an, and we loved every bit of it. And we've traveled quite a bit through different cities. And it was really fun to listen to all of the cities being named by Francisca, and how she waited for each person to raise their hand. It was a wonderful thing for her to be able to provide an invitation to me from your organization, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much. I have been asked to teach on certain subjects, and so I'm going to do that. The first subject that I'd like to talk to you about is time management. Would that be okay? Time management. Okay. Well, okay, good. One of the most interesting things is everybody's working on trying to get more done and be more productive and maybe be more maybe be more efficient, but be more effective at the same time. Be more effective. Being more effective is probably more important in most instances than being more efficient. And we often call being more effective being more productive, and being more efficient being faster and speedier. Well, anyway, I'll be talking about this in a few minutes, but my self-leadership change project, and I've spoken about this several years ago, this particular semester, summer semester, I teach in the summer, was about trying to figure out how I could raise my sights and not just get things done, but get things done that are effective. And so what I decided I would do is I would follow the advice of this woman that I found a video of this woman who talks about how she manages her time. And I've been practicing what she's been doing, and it works. It's so incredible. And it works for any religion, whether you be a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian, or maybe even agnostic or atheist or Buddhist. It works for all sorts of religions, so that doesn't matter. And so it's just something that is beneficial to use. And I have asked Ben Baffo, who is our honorary past president, to present this video for me, for all of us rather. And I think that Ben can do that. Do you have the screen, Ben, so you can share it?
Yes, please. Honorable Benny, is it okay if you could allow me to share the screen? Let me know when you're ready. Is it okay?
Hello, Honorable Ben, please, you can share the screen.
Okay, wonderful. I think it's still disabled.
It's disabled? Okay.
Yes. So while we wait, I'll be doing that very soon. I hope you're doing very well in your various places, please. Okay, let's see. Still up. Okay, I think now I can do that now.
God has given us a great gift, our time. We must do with it what matters most. Every morning I rise before the sun, I dress and wash my face and hands. I read the scriptures, then I make a list of what I should do that day. I think of who I might save. I pray to know God's will, and I listen. Sometimes the names or faces of people come to mind. I add them to my list, and I pray for strength and wisdom. I pray that God will consecrate my performance. It says that in 2 Nephi chapter 32. I thank him. I promise to do my best. I ask that he will do what I cannot. Then I look at my lists. I put a 1 by the most important thing, then a 2. I listen when I pray. Then I go to work. I look at number 1 and try to do it first. Then number 2. Sometimes things change. The Holy Ghost tells me to do something else. That is good. I work very hard, but I have peace. I know God will help me. So with my wits and the spirit, I do what matters. When I finally prepare for bed, I pray again. I report to Heavenly Father. I tell him how the day went. I ask questions. I ask what I can do better. I listen. I love him, and I often feel his love. I know he magnifies what I try to do. Then I have peace and I sleep. You will give up things that do not matter. You will use your time to do what does matter. And God will be with you if your heart is right.
Over to you, Professor Phillips.
Thank you so much, Ben, for showing that. Well, over the past few months that we've been involved in this pandemic situation, I decided that I would follow this woman's advice. Her last name is Benkosi, and I don't know what country she would be from. Could anybody tell me what country you think she is from?
I think it's from Ghana.
I know. That's what I thought too. So I was thinking that that would be a good video to show my most honorable participants and leaders here today. And I will try, if you're interested, I will see if possibly Ben could share that with you later and send that link to you later on, and you could watch it or download it or whatever you'd like to do. Would that be okay, Ben? I have followed that advice, the advice of that woman, and it helped me do a number of things. So I have been able to prepare all of my classes that will be online for BYU, and they will start in September. They're ready to go. I have helped my wife to prepare for teaching online because with me leaving my university and retiring, what has happened is there's more people at my university who are needing to teach online, and they have replaced me to some degree, but not totally. And so my wife is being prepared to teach, and I have helped her prepare to teach online. And also with the retirement, all the paperwork required and everything, including Medicare paperwork and so forth. And the whole preparation has been very successful so far because I have followed Mrs. Benkosi's advice. Well, the question I want to ask all of you is, can you try to follow her advice? Can you try to do that? Ben will send you the link, so you'll have that. But could you try? Could you tell me how you feel about that? How many people are there today? Maybe 100, I don't know. But do you think you can? Tell me.
Yes, you can.
Thank you, John Nelson. You'll be blessed if you do. Well, the next thing I would like to talk about, and I think that, let me ask Ben if he has had the opportunity to send some of these things, this paperwork to you. It looks like this, and it's called Ethical Views and Principles. Did you get a chance to send that to them, and did they receive it, do you think, Ben? Okay, good. it's really important to understand this. This is a serious thing. To be an effective leader, you need to understand how important it is to work with your team, and that your team sees that what's happening in the team is ethical. And I'm going to look at that's number 4, one of the principles. And it's called the justice view. And it says, treating people impartially and fairly according to guiding rules and standards. And then under it, there are 2. A, procedural justice is the degree concerned with the degree to which policies and rules are fairly administered. I know that your organization has rules, and every university has rules, and every specific club that's connected has their specific rules that they try to work with. Distributive justice is concerned with the degree to which people are treated the same regardless of individual characteristics, regardless of what gender they are, or what degree they're following, or where they live, or their parents, or anything. People need to feel that it's fair and that you're being ethical. Also, number 3 above that is to never take action that abridges the agreed upon rights of others. And 5 is taking actions that are honest and open and truthful. And number 8 is basically to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And that particular religious injunctions principle is actually written in different ways in different religions. All religions have that to some degree. And of course, there's others. And I won't go into them, but you know, you shouldn't be stealing, and you shouldn't take actions that you don't think that you don't want people to take on you. And you think that you think that you're all really wonderful and everything, and the reality is maybe you need to spend some time thinking about what other people might be thinking about those actions. Well, there's an article that I sent some information about. It was presented at the Academy of Management. It's an international conference that's held every year, and professors get together and talk about this. And there's a particular piece of research that is called Ethical Leadership and Team Ethical Outcomes: the roles of team moral efficacy and ethical climate. And this is what it looks like. They did a survey of 150 teams from the Republic of Korea Army on ethical leadership. And they found out some things that I would like to address. They found out that when the leadership of the team is ethical, and even the leadership of the organization that has many teams is ethical, what happens is there are certain behaviors that the people in the teams generate, and they call it organizational citizenship behaviors. And I'll give you an example of an organizational citizenship behavior. Let's pretend you're in a warehouse and there are people that are piling boxes up with machinery and so forth. And you look up and you see that one of the boxes really high that looks really heavy is going to fall on somebody. what are you going to do? Well, a natural tendency would be for you to say, you know, hey, watch out, hey. And so the person can get away and be protected. If you're being mean and you don't care about the organization, you maybe just got fired or laid off and you're really upset and you don't even look around, okay? And you don't care about anything. In fact, maybe you might even feel like the whole place could burn as far as you're concerned. I'm sorry I said that, but it could be you might feel really awful about it. And you shouldn't, but you might, because the organization treated you unethically. And this box is going to fall on somebody, but you don't even notice it. You're walking, you're stomping out, and you're so upset. You don't even care. And the box falls on an individual and kills him or her. The organizational citizenship behavior that comes upon people as they naturally look in their surroundings and are concerned about their fellow man comes about because more often, from this research they're finding, it comes about more often when the leadership of the organization is ethical. Does that make sense to all of you? Does that make sense? So this particular paper that you all have on ethics, I believe is an incredible part of being a successful manager. In fact, I teach human resource management and have been teaching it for 30 years. Resource managers do a lot of things related to the legal environment, and there's a lot of specific things that they do, tasks like staffing, compensation, and so forth, and training. But among all the things they do basically two things. Keeping within the legal environment is important, and they do that all the time, but there are two things they do within the legal environment. And one is they practice ethics and how they deal with people individually and groups. And number two is they negotiate. They negotiate. That's mostly, and they deal with all kinds of, when I say negotiate, they're always communicating and trying to help and make things happen. And that's what I call negotiating. Okay. So if you get the opportunity to pick up of course, I've given you the material on ethics. I haven't given you any material on negotiation. I've been teaching a negotiation class for 26 years. And I would say that that's probably one of the better skills for you to have. And I would suggest that you pick up a book. It doesn't have to be a big, thick book, just a thin, nice book on negotiation and how to practice it. It would be really a good thing for you to have. Do you have any questions so far? Anybody have any questions so far? We're going to go a little bit further into some of this. Any questions about ethical behavior from leaders? And I know it's difficult. And I remember the many, many times that I would sit there and talk to Ben Baffo about leadership and personal habits and personal growth. And it all came back down to one thing that you would do all the time. And it was practice. If you make an error, if people are upset, you can say you're sorry and that you will try to do better. And people like that. And it's important for you too to continue to practice and get better. Sometimes you might think that you're not getting any better, but as you continue to pick yourself up and keep practicing, you will continue to get better with what you're doing. Okay, so I would like to ask if you have any questions so far. about anything that we've talked about. Because I think I'm supposed to facilitate and not just be doing all the talking. Okay, no questions?
I think there's a
Doc,
hand.
please, I have a question.
Oh, let's hear Ernest. Ernest.
Yeah, Doc.
Hi, Ernest.
Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation with us.
You're welcome.
I would
Thank
like
you.
you to share with us your intellectual experiences on the ethics aspect when a leader is found to be, excuse me to say, unethical. How would a subordinate cope with such situation, and how are we going to handle that so that we maintain the progress of the union or the organization?
Okay, let's see if I understand this correctly. And if I don't, then if I do, I'm going to repeat your question back to you. And if I do say yes.
Okay.
So let's say you have a leader, you are a worker in this organization in some part, you're doing something, but your leader, your supervisor or the director, whatever, is being unethical. What do you do?
Yeah, that's the first point. That's my question is 2 in 1. The first point is what should you do? And when we do that first thing and still there's no improvement, how should the subordinate cope, or what should we do?
Okay, good question. Okay, this is an interesting thing, and there are a lot of possibilities here. Okay, I have had supervisors. I call them deans or department chairs or deans or presidents, vice presidents of university or deans who from time to time have been unethical. And the group of professors would get together and we would send somebody to talk to that individual. And then the individual would have to hear from the group of us. It would be very difficult to do this from a one-person point of view, but it's still possible. And I have had opportunities to talk to people and just speak with them one-on-one about something that I think needs to be, that they need to look at. And sometimes it can create some problems for you. So you have to be careful, because in those situations where you're going one-on-one, you might have somebody who is not just unethical, but they're really wanting to get rid of you. And you may not want that unless you're ready to go to another organization. And I'm going to say this, and I've worked for a number of different companies before I started as a professor. And there are some companies, the whole company, the way it operated was unethical. Everything about it, how they treated their employees, how they paid them, everything was unethical. And I finally just left and I found another job somewhere else. Okay, well, so then there is another thing you could do. If the person that you're trying to work with is continually being unethical, other than leaving and other than getting a group of people that voice their opinion, almost like a union, you would need to have a good sizable group, because they can't fire everybody. Even if there's no legal union, it's just a group of people who are saying this is not right. And what you could do is make sure that that unethical person gets to be more included in your teams, in your organizations, in the things that you do on a regular basis. And then that person will see, and you will be able to have more conversation with them. There's no other way. And in some cases, I'm going to say this to you, Ernest, in some cases, there are some people, it's a disease. It's kind of like it's a disability in some places. It's considered a disability, and it's called psychopathic behavior. And they've actually studied this in, psychologists have studied this. And they found that approximately 2% of the world's population are psychopaths or sociopaths. And they've also found that when you get to the top level of the organizations, whether it be political or whether it be a corporate company or whatever organization, that about 20 to 25% of the individuals that are in charge are in those categories, sociopath, psychopath. And it's a tragedy. The only way to solve the problem is for people, good people like you all, to be involved. Don't just let somebody be the leader and you don't want to do it because you don't think that, number one, you don't think you maybe are good enough, or you don't want to put in the time and do all the different things, the travel, whatever it is. So you don't want to do it. It's just too much work. You'd rather just stay home. And so what ends up happening is certain people who have these certain disabilities, they end up becoming leaders. Ernest, I'm sorry if I didn't answer your question, but I tried.
Doc, we are most grateful for your explanation to my question.
I've thought about this a lot, by the way.
Yeah, thank you very much, Doc.
Any other questions? I saw Francisca came on and then she went off again. Francisca, did you have a question? Most Honorable Francisca, Secretary General? Oh, she's maybe not there. Okay.
Please, I'm here. For now, I don't have any question.
Oh, I thought maybe you had a question. I saw you come on and I thought maybe you had a question.
No, please. For now, I don't have.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Hi, Doc. Please, I have a question.
Okay, good.
All right. Just a follow-up question from what Ernest asked. I want to understand, or please clarify this point to me. Boss and subordinate unethical behavior. How can it be managed so that it doesn't affect our duties?
So that it does not affect what?
Our duties.
Your duties. It will, if you have ethical behavior, if it's ethical as opposed to being not ethical, it would seem that your duties would be more effective. I don't know what else to say to that. Why would it affect them negatively? I think it would affect your duties in a positive way to be ethical.
No, instances where it's unethical, boss and subordinate, unethical behavior. How can we manage it so that it doesn't affect our duties? The unethical behavior.
Oh, unethical behavior? Oh, I see.
Yes.
From a subordinate.
Yes.
Oh, I see. So how can you manage unethical behavior so it doesn't affect your duties? That's a very good question. What do you all think about that? That's a very interesting one that has a lot to do with you and the individual who is being unethical. I mean, it depends on the individual. But my first statement in here was that you have, one of my first things was that you have two key skills that you need to learn. One is how to be ethical and the other is how to negotiate. And you really need to spend some time talking and negotiating with this individual and talking to them about how important it is. You can ask them, well, would this be ethical for us to do this to you? Point things back to them and let them see how that would be if they were in the shoes of the individual who was receiving the unethical treatment. But make sure that you do something. Make sure that you learn these ethical principles well, and you can carry them around with you and so forth. And you can always say things, you know, that's really important. One of the ethical principles is number 12. Don't take actions that you wouldn't want others to take. And what if you were in the position, you can present this to the individual, what if you were in the position of being the recipient of this unethical behavior? How would you feel? What would you do? So you can, you know, switch the places there a little bit. It's not going to be an easy thing, but you'll have to do some discussion with them, Nana. Was that Nana that said that, asked that question?
Yes, Doc.
Yeah, I don't know if I helped you at all, but you're really going to have to know, you're really going to have to get to know your people well to see what you can do and how you can negotiate and talk with them. You cannot treat them like you know, just people that you don't know them. You have to know them quite well so that you can have this chat with them about their unethical behavior. Thank you, Nana.
Okay. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you. Are there any other questions about ethics? Can you all see that having an ethical organization is so important to people feeling committed, to people feeling like they want to participate, that people would feel that they would want to come and have an enjoyable time? Can you see how important that is? It's really important. You can have a lot of fun and still be really ethical. Make sure that everybody is treated fairly. Okay.
I think there's someone here, Mr. Summers.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Please, can I go ahead?
Sam.
I think, yeah, you can, please.
Okay, thanks. Dr. Phillips,
Yes,
I want to take you back to your introductory video you shared with us.
Yes, sir.
What I saw, the woman listed the things that she wants to achieve in the day.
Yes.
And that's good. Sometimes we do that, but at the end of the day, we are not able to achieve those things. Because sometimes during the day you have emergencies, which are quite important.
Yes.
So I want to know, how do you balance? Because maybe the things you have listed for the day, you also have deadlines and there are emergencies. So, which you have not even thought of from the beginning of the day. So when this happens, emergencies are come, how do you balance what your targets and what you have not targeted for? How do you?
Excellent question. And I have
the last.
Yes. Oh, you have two questions. You have two questions.
Very last one. Yes, in the same video.
Please.
And I would like you to tell us the unique thing, because I was very much surprised you share a video of someone from our country, and maybe we have not paid attention to such videos. So I would like you to tell us the unique thing that you've learned. How, because I could see you are very happy about this video.
I am
for you to share with us, can you share with us the unique thing that you personally have learned from that video? Maybe we would.
Yeah, and as I'm talking about that video, I'm going to ask Ben if he would get ready to present a picture that I sent to him. So make sure that he gets the option down the road to share screen. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is answering the first question. Hold on a minute. This is answering the first question. So, okay. Now, what's your name that I was talking to? I can't remember.
Sam.
Sam. Oh, that's right, Sam. Thank you, Sam. Okay, Sam, this is a little picture that I can have Ben send to you, or you can screenshot this yourself. And it's really important to look at this. Okay, we have, if you look at the rows, you can see some things are very important row. Then there's a second row, which is less important. Okay? And then you have very urgent and then less urgent. So a lot of people are working their whole lives on the first column that says very urgent. Their whole life is all very urgent. Everything is urgent all the time. Sometimes they're very important. Sometimes they're less important, but they're really urgent all the time. Get out of my way. I've got to do these things. Oh my. So, and that's how life can be, especially when you're taking exams and trying to get through medical school or an MBA program or a PhD program. I know how that feels. But what I've decided to do is to see if I can add a few things from the area that has the 4 stars. It's less urgent, but it's more important, but it's really important. Now I can foresee that that's going to be something, maybe it doesn't bother me now, but it could bother me. It could be a problem. Here's an example. We have 2 homes, and one of them we rent. And the one that we rent has this big tree in the back that had this big limb, huge limb, giant limb. And we have lots of wind in the area, like tornadoes, Oklahoma tornadoes, you've heard of that? And so I looked at the limb and I thought, uh-oh, this limb doesn't look very good. It looks like it needs to come down. So I contacted somebody who could take this limb and cut it down for me. It would take many hours to get this limb down because it's so high, and it looked like it was going to fall on the house. And so I contacted this individual who was a professional and could cut the limb down. And I had to call him and text him 10 times over a period of a month or so. Finally, he came one day, and he came at the worst time. It was a bad time. Other people were doing things in the yard, and he came at the wrong time. And I told the other people, I said, I want you to please wait and let him finish and let him do the job and get the limb down. He got the limb down. It was a Tuesday. I think it was a Friday night. There was a big storm that came through and took down a whole bunch of trees in the neighborhood. None of my trees. But the person who was renting my home said to me, that limb would have come down on the house had you not planned ahead. Do you understand what I'm talking about, Sam, now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it wasn't something that was in my calendar, like a test in 2 weeks or something like that. It was, or a project or presentation in 2 weeks. It wasn't that. It was me doing what this sister Benkosi, who was in this video, was talking about. Meditating, praying, focusing, what can I do? What needs to be done today? And the name and face of this guy that cuts the trees down or the limbs down, he would keep coming to my mind. So I keep texting him. Finally, he came. I thought he would never come. I have students who take this little sheet. You can redraw this presentation that Ben sent you. You can redraw it, and You can make it more square. And you can put it on the fridge. I promise you it will save you. Think of the things that are important. They may not be urgent. You need to put some of them in your day because if you don't, those things will become urgent later. Then eventually, if you don't do A2 items, eventually everything becomes urgent. Oh no, what if we didn't cut down that limb? What would happen? The limb would probably fall on the house. Then everything would become urgent quickly. The people, somebody might be killed. There would be an ambulance. People would have to live in a hotel. The house would have to be fixed. There would be lots of water that would go into the house because of the rain and the storm. That would make everything urgent. I would still be working on that today had I not worked on the less urgent item. I went home that day and I thanked God for helping me to feel strongly that that was important. And so that I would make sure to bother that guy regularly until he did it. And I hope that example shares with you some things, okay?
Yes, doctor. Thanks a lot.
And if everything is urgent all the time, it's harder. I mean, think about the house, and think about the if it's broken and it has to be fixed, and the people, somebody got hurt, maybe killed. Think about what that would create. That makes my life too busy. And just by calling this guy that would come and cut the limb, that made my life, that's so much easier to have him, to me text him maybe 10 times than it is for me to fix my house. It's so much easier for me to fix people who were injured. It's so much easier. So if you wait for everything to be urgent, it's like everything times 10. Your life is times 10. And then you know what happens? Sam, I will tell you what happens. If everything in your life is urgent all the time, successful people don't want to be around you very much. They think you tax them too much. You take away too much of their energy. If everything seems to be urgent with you all the time, they just don't want to be around you because it's just too hard. They just, he taxes me. He just pulls too much energy from me all the time. Oh, I can't deal with that. So I wouldn't want to be around that person because that's not very successful for me. I want people who can plan on things and try to do their best to work on the important things, even if they're less urgent. I hope you understand that.
Yes, doctor, thanks.
However, Sam, you will have things in the urgent category that are also very important. That will happen regularly. But if you can put some of the things if you can work on some of the things that are less urgent in your daily tasks, it will make a big difference in your life. Think ahead. Let God guide you. Meditate over it. Play the video in your mind. How is your next day going to show? How is your next week, the next couple of weeks? Can you visualize how it will be? If you can't visualize it right, and there's something that's wrong, you may need to work on that thing. Okay, thank you, Sam. And Sam, I have to talk to you about the first one. What was the question about the woman that you were talking about? I can't remember the question. Please.
Okay, doctor, I want you to tell us, because I was very surprised you used that video introducing what you're coming to tell us. So I want you to share with us the unique thing that you've learned from that video that makes you very happy.
Very happy. Thank you. Very happy, Sam. Let me just say this. My wife and I found this video and we decided that we would try it. maybe maybe 6 months ago, maybe more, maybe longer, maybe 9 months ago. And we tried it, and we thought it seemed to be good, and we seemed to try what we liked what she was doing, but we didn't try it regularly. And then in my classes, I have my students work on a self-leadership change project, which I would like to talk about. And so I said, well, I can't ask my students to do something that I'm not doing myself. I need to do it myself. So I need to do something. So I picked this as my self-leadership change project, and I decided I would try it really and just really do it. Just really work on doing everything, get the washcloth, wash my face in the morning, pray, do just what she says, everything that she says, okay? Just follow Sister Benkosi to the T. And it worked. It really worked. She has figured it out. And the thing that made me so happy is it changed my life. It's so simple and so deep and so life-changing, and how she could help other people and change other people's lives and make the world a better place, even in her little circumstances. I've never been to Africa, and I want to go to Africa, and I have many invites to go to Africa. I have. I will someday have that opportunity. What a joy it would be for me to if I could ever meet Sister Benkosi and tell her how thankful I am for her example. I wanted to be able to thank her for how she's changed my life. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thanks a lot.
I think it's a follow-up from Mr. Honorable Ejapong. I think you're muted. Honorable Ejapong, you can ask your follow-up question, please. Relating to the same question.
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you, Dr. Phillips, for this advice. So a follow-up question from Mr. Sam is, when you fail these tasks oftentimes, and you end up, beating yourself over again on your failures. As a leader, how do you get out from this situation when you should fail on these, tasks that you write every day?
Okay, I understand your question quite well. And I know somebody, and I'm looking at this individual who knows the answer to your question. And his first name is Benjamin. Ben, I call him Ben, and he knows the answer to your question. He knows exactly what to say. I don't know if anybody knows the answer to the question better than Ben. Would Ben like to tell you what the answer is? I have already said it, but he has some stories to tell, probably.
Well, pretty much, we are human beings. I think that you have to understand that sometimes you run faster than your strength. You keep practicing. You keep acknowledging your failures, and you keep working on them every day. Practice, practice, practice. You never stop. Let that failure be some sort of like a motivation for you to get up. Maybe through that would help you to search more, to inquire more, and that will improve your horoscope of knowledge. I think there's no other best way than practice.
To learn more, learn as you practice, yeah. This is a perfect answer. I could have not answered that question better than Ben.
All right, Mr. Ben, thank you very much for this answer.
Okay, well, I hope everybody understands that little picture. I didn't think I would be presenting that little picture today about how you can formulate the urgent and the less urgent and the very important and the less important and put that up. I've had MBA students graduate and they have this picture. They have the picture up on their oh, it's so funny. And they follow this picture and they put the, A1, A2, B1, B2, and they follow this and it works. It's so simple. It's really complex because it's a busy life that I live. My life is so complex.
I think we have someone, we have Honorable Nanadra, the National Financial Controller. She wants to ask a question. You're muted, please. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Hello, Doc. Please, my question relates to ethics.
Is this Nana?
Yes, please.
Hi, Nana. Thank you for another question.
Okay. So in a situation where the organization that you are part of does not have an ethical code of conduct, and then I know that we all have different cultural values and morals, how do we work on the same level, on the same page, where you know that this is ethical, this is unethical, so we should act or we should play our cards in this particular way? Thank you.
Nana, it's a really tough situation if your organization doesn't have an ethical code of conduct. And that was something I was planning on talking about. You really need to sit down and talk about this. This is a really important thing. What's the code of conduct and how do you deal with things in your organization? You can't just go around and just be, you can't just say, oh, that's against my rules. How about yours?
Yeah.
But these ethical principles have been used throughout time. If you notice, I said something here at the beginning of them. We may naturally prioritize several ethical ideals as we consider personal and organizational decisions at hand. In doing so, it may be helpful to consider some of the many ethical views that have survived throughout recorded history.
Okay.
These rules have different exceptions. However, actions that do not easily pass several of these rules deserve some very close attention and a great deal of caution, if only because the appearance of unethical behavior may do as much harm to your company as the actual unethical behavior. So I would suggest that you sit down and have a talk about what are the code of conduct, the code of ethics for your organization. Organizations should have that, don't you think, Nana?
Yes, please, I do.
I hope I'm not saying anything that you might need to work on in this organization. I didn't mean to cause any unrest.
Not at all. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. All right. I'm going to talk a little bit about, see, how much time do I have approximately? About a half an hour, maybe?
Yeah, you have about 22 minutes and a few seconds, yeah.
Okay, about 22 seconds. I have barely.
Sorry, 32, sorry.
32, okay, 32, okay, good. I'm gonna talk a little bit about something called the Self-Leadership Change Project, but before I do that, I'm going to introduce some other things. This one here, you've received, and I had to send it twice because the first time I sent it, it didn't have the full document, but the second time I sent it to Ben and he sent it out is the full document. And I'm gonna talk about this. In your organization, you're going to find out. I'm sorry?
Or maybe I will come in. Hey, it's me.
Okay. In your organizations, you're going to find out that if you keep track of this, if you write down, as students write down their goals, what does it say happens? It helps them boost their grades. And as they work on a goal, it helps them boost their grades. For example, let's say a student wants to learn how to play the piano. This has nothing to do with their MBA program. This has nothing to do with their PhD program in engineering. Nothing. They're learning to play the piano. Oh, it has something to do with it. Or they're learning another skill, or they're writing down a goal and practicing doing a certain exercise programs. Whatever it is, they want to learn how to do a certain kind of gymnastics thing. Whatever the thing is they're learning to do, or the goal you're trying to perform, somehow, and the psychologists don't know exactly how this works, and they are not happy with this particular research project because they think that if you can't understand it psychologically, then you can't really do it. But for some reason, in an applied setting, writing down a goal that has almost nothing to do with your main goal and working on that helps you on the main goal, your main life, which as a student is to get better grades and to pass your exams. Wow, that's pretty significant. Well, that piece of research led me to think about, well, being a leader has something to do with being a good example. Doing something that people would want to, some reason for people wanting to follow me. And you know, when it's a club, when it's a nonprofit type organization, people won't follow you because you're paying them, because you're not going to pay them. You're not going to pay them anything. So why would they even care to follow you as a leader? So you've got to lead by example. You've got to have the things within you, the love, the kindness, the example, the dedication, the courage, the use of your talents and your gifts, the honing in on those gifts and making them really look, making them good, making it work, making yourself productive. People like to follow that. They don't want to follow something that's unsuccessful. So I put together this is just called the Self-Leadership Change Project. And what you do is you work on one thing, only one thing. It's not a whole bunch of things. It's just pick one thing. So what's the next thing? And I was thinking, if I ask my students to do this as part of their participation grade, I'm not going to grade it. They just have to do it. I need to do one too, because I need to lead by example. So this semester, I decided I would follow Sister Benkosi. And I wish I could find her. I have no idea who she is or where she is or anything. Maybe Ben can find her somehow. And I can thank her. And so I tried that and it works. And every semester I do a new one. I have tried all kinds of different things. And it's made me become a better person, made me become more of the kind of person that I've always wanted to be. And I still struggle. And when I make mistakes, I feel really bad. And I tell the person that I'm sorry. and I pick myself back up. And if I've hurt somebody, I pick that person up too. Dust them off. And we go and we practice again. And we try it again. And God will let us do that. He will. We turn to Him and He will let us do that. So there's some important parts of this. So what I want you to do is to think about what your best possible future could be and imagine it in your mind. What is my best possible future? What could it be? My ideal future self and my life at a future point in time. Pick an age or pick a year. It could be 5 years, 10 years. Pick an age. I'm 65 right now. Don't pick my age yet. Maybe. Then write a paragraph on how you envision yourself, your best possible future at that future time. Be quite detailed about how things exist at that point in time. What does it look like? What do I see? What do I smell? What do I hear? What do I taste? What does it feel like? What does it feel like? Who am I with? What will I be doing? Be specific and write down a paragraph of your best possible future. Have a vision of that. If you have to, think about it overnight, dream about it, and then write down a paragraph of that. And as you gain experience with doing these self-leadership change projects, your vision will actually change and it'll just be like a flower going like that. Then, this is not absolutely important as to conduct a personal SWOT analysis. So it helps you to really get realistic with yourself, you know, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Our MBA students all know this one, you know. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are my opportunities and threats? You can go through all that with yourself. And I've had students do this and they're like, you know, they say like, wow, I had no idea I was that way. Now that I think about it, I need to work on that, you know? So that could be one of your self-leadership change projects, to work on something. Well, it's an interesting thing because I've had in one semester, for example, I had 10 students give up tobacco. They were interested in that. I never mentioned it ever. I've had students give up drinking. I've had students give up anger management. They've gotten into anger management classes and become really good. They've just, their life is different from the beginning of the semester till the end. Oh my, how could this happen? Well, select your one behavior change you want to make. My behavior change was be like Sister Benkosi. Then select some observers, okay? So select people that know you well, and they're going to just watch you for that period of time, hopefully about 3-4 months, something like that. They're going to watch you, and they'll give feedback to you at the end as to how did you do? Did it affect anything? And you know what? The big question is, did it affect any of your possibilities, any of your opportunities? And it really is amazing that by one small change, actually you get to another point in time by doing that one small change. different opportunities open up. So let's say you're going from point A to point B, but when you get closer to B, C, D, and E open up. And they wouldn't have been there unless you were on that trajectory toward getting closer to B. It's amazing how that is. That is some little secret that most people, well, if I'm here at A, I can't see anything but this one thing. You tell me there's all these opportunities, but you don't know until you get closer to B that that's a possibility that C, D, and E will be possible, or maybe only 2, maybe 3, maybe more will be possibilities for you. And they will open up because you are working, focusing on this. So opportunities change. So that's a big question. At the end of the Self-Leadership Change Project, 3-4 months, this one behavior change you're going to make, I want you to ask if your observers, if anything around you has changed. People, opportunities, and so forth. Not just did you accomplish your Self-Leadership Change Project, but were there any things that changed? Like people around you, opportunities as a result. Well, so I've had students do this, and they will come back to me. In fact, they've had already this semester a 7-week class that is just finishing. They took their final exam. They have a 2-day period of time to take it, and the final, it will be closed in 20 some odd minutes. And already students are telling me they're a different person after 7 weeks. So some of the ideas could be physical fitness, healthier eating, anger management, spiritual improvement methods, emotional improvement methods, thinking more positively, being a better neighbor, financial planning, budgeting. There's all kinds of things. You name it. You can follow this. It's pretty incredible. So I don't know. I feel like that I got this from heaven to do this. And I feel like that's why I always talk about it. Ben is thinking, you always talk about this. Oh, it's funny. So you pick about 3 to 5 observers. They're not your drill sergeants. They're not going to be bothering you. They're just going to watch you and see if your opportunities change. See if the people around you change. And you know what? The research shows that we've got 4 papers published from this. This is amazing. You get 3 to 5 observers. Get 5. Because what ends up happening, these people end up looking and watching you, and you know what ends up happening? They end up changing. It's reciprocal. It goes back and forth. And as you watch them change, you know, you'll be like, huh? They're working on a project too. How did that happen? And then you're like, well, I can do mine. I can keep doing mine then. I'm going to keep working on it and I'll be successful. And then they continue to do something. It's like bouncing back and forth in a positive way with your friends and your relatives. It's amazing. Anyway, that's an interesting thing. And I've had students working on this project and they come out of it and they're like, I'm a different person. And what if you have had 5 classes from me? You have to do 5 of these over a period of time. You'll be a totally different person. Anyway, there's a step-by-step process. You do some research and all kinds of stuff. And I kind of talked about it just generally. You do some journaling, you do a little research, and you do some write-up and so forth. Anyway, that's the project. Any questions about it? Oh, yeah, that's about it. I think I have about 20 minutes for questions about that project and how you can be a better person in some way, some little way. And you, by doing that, will find people will feel that positivity from you. As you pick yourself up, constantly working and trying to sail through, and they'll feel that positivity and they'll want to follow you. it's a wonderful, it's the whole idea of love, of doing things not just for you. I'm not going to be a leader just because I want to be in charge and I want to have the authority and I want to be in control and I want to put this on my resume because, and on my CV, my curriculum vitae, because I think it will be helpful for me. But I want to be a better person so that I can help other people. So really the question is, am I going to be service to self, or am I going to be service to others? That's the question that you can ask. And I hope that that's really where you're going to go, is more service to others instead of service to self. Anyway, that's really, I've got 20 minutes for questions, and we can, that'll be it. That's probably as much training as I can provide to give you. Those are the basic things, you know, ethics, negotiation, and I'm not going to spend much time on that because that's a whole class almost. You need a book and you need some stuff to read. But also becoming your best self. How can I become my best self? I'm not going to become as good as Ben. Ben Baffo is better than I am. I'm not going to be that good. I can't do it. But I can be better than how I am now. I can work on becoming my best self. So don't be like somebody else. Be like yourself.